What's good, everyone? How you doing today?
What's good? What's good? What's good, gente?
I had to have a semi-cheesy smile because this thing be taking me crazy pictures of like how the pictures that, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Mount Poetic?
Your boy, Mr. M2J, and
You don't already
welcome
know.
to the Latinos Unfiltered
Sin filtro.
podcast. Gotta add the podcast there because lately I've been kind of noticing that when we try to put Latinos Unfiltered, they put this other channel, which is
Yeah.
females, which is they got the same name, but we have to add that podcast at the end. So make sure,
And we're
guys.
Latinos, not Latinas. I mean, unless you
Yeah.
identify as a Latina.
But yeah, guys. If you're gonna search us up, make sure that you put podcast at the end. Latinos Unfiltered Podcast. That's us. M2J and your boy Poetic. One more time, live in your screens. Episode numero 25.
You know who we are because we are here. You've seen the remaining 24 prior, possibly, maybe not. If not, hey, we'll go. In the future, we'll definitely have, we'll just say, hey, what's up, everybody, blah, blah, blah. And then, we'll just have the names there so we don't have to keep saying it. But even then,
Yo, that'd be cool. Having the names pop in the bottom.
it's lazy. A lot of shit I gotta do. I'm going to be doing that, though. But, okay, so we're going to talk about some crazy stuff that I know is very controversial. It's going to be as part of the topic. This is going to be on restaurants.
Restaurantes.
The specific one we're going to do currently is tipping culture.
Ooh.
The first question we're going to have is how does tipping culture differ between Europe and the USA?
I don't know. I'm not in Europe. Never been to Europe.
I can tell you, there is no tipping in Europe.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think that even in the Hispanic countries, bro, I don't know, like tipping is not really like something that is enforced. I know they might have like tipping systems or whatever not, but growing up, my first 17 years in Panama, bro, I never seen nobody tipping. If they tip, I mean, it was the true word, the true meaning of the word gratuity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I decided to give you something else, but it's not like it was like enforced. Like, you need to leave a tip type of thing. You will do it if the person was really nice or whatever now, but like, oh, I have to give you a tip, or they were like, oh, there's a gratuity included into the bill. No, they had none of this. I don't know if they do now, but they ain't have back then.
Even then, I know a lot of countries, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure in Japan, it's like they do not, it's considered offensive if you tip. A lot of countries are like that. Here's the biggest thing I've learned from a lot of my friends in Europe. The reason there's no tipping is because first of all, they pay their workers a fair wage. That's why. Here in the US, people, especially past few years, it's gotten crazy when it comes to tipping. People expect a tip. It's like, oh, how dare you not tip me? If you can't afford a tip, you shouldn't go out to eat. Okay, well, if you need a tip to survive, you need to get a better job. That's how I see it. Y'all don't like it, go to hell. I don't.
You see, I kind of understand it.
I don't believe in tipping. I don't believe in it because if you're really good, you're going out your way, you're doing really well, and you made me, and we're getting along. I'm having a great day, and I decide I want to tip. I don't have an issue, but I shouldn't be required to tip because you're doing your job. You're getting paid an hour. Well, they don't pay me enough, and is that my issue? Is that my issue that you went to a job that they don't pay you enough? Know your worth, get a better job. Well, this is just what I'm doing for now until I finish college and get my actual job. Okay, so let's say that we go like that. Okay, right? Okay, you're just here until you can get your actual career started. You want to be an engineer. You're doing your job. Are you expecting a tip from whoever you're going to go do?
No, of course not. But you see, the only reason why I say that I kind of understand what is going on is because of the same point that you made. The restaurant industry is brutal, is disgusting, because you're telling me that you have servers, you have waiters, you have what they call that, readers, bus boys, and all these other people, and they depend on tips to make their living wage. That's unacceptable, because I'm gonna tell you this: if the fast food restaurant industry can make them have a wage where they don't need to get tip, and given that they don't make that kind of money either. And it's kind of funny because I was just having a conversation about that kind of stuff, like literally before we started recording. The problem is with the restaurant industry. Why? Because first of all, they want to set up this whole like, oh yeah, we increase the minimum wage. First of all, you increase the minimum wage, but for fast food restaurants and other locations, yeah, you get the money in dollars or whatever not based on hourly base, but you don't give your workers enough hours,
Yeah.
which is horrible. Because what's the point of you making 15, 16, $17 an hour, but he only works 4 hours a week or 4 hours a day? You're working half of the full day's worth. So, AKA, you get cut off half of the money. So instead of making that full check, you can cut your stuff cut in half. So now you gotta work twice as hard, or gotta work in two different places in order for you to have a semi decent paycheck to struggle, not even to survive, to just struggle. You know what I'm saying?
I've been in the kitchen for 20 something years. I worked as a cook. Okay? I worked as a chef for so many years. And this is the way I see it. When I go to a restaurant, have I tipped and do I tip? Yeah, I tip. But not if it's demanded upon me or if it's told. I'm the kind of person who I'm a crazy motherfucker. I'm the one like if you're expecting to you give me an attitude, I'm not tipping. I'm going against the grain. You feel me? I'm not going somewhere where I don't care if I make $1 million a year. If I go to a restaurant, you're doing your job. Then if I want to tip, yes. But I don't have I shouldn't have to.
Okay. Now,
I
now
shouldn't
that you
have
talk
to tip.
about now you
It's
talk
simple.
about being in the restaurant industry.
If I give
Okay,
money,
you was
if I tip, I'm giving it. I've done this a lot of times, and they don't like it, but I don't give a damn. I'll give the tip. I'll say, "Can I speak to your chef?" To the chef, and I'll make sure I go somewhere near the kitchen, and I'll be like, "Hey, just so you guys know, I'm giving this to your chef, and I'll tip the chef. Or I'm giving $20 here, 20, 50, whatever the tip I'm going to do, and I'll give it to the chef and say, hey, this is for the kitchen staff to go ahead and split. This is for you guys, this is whatever. Because don't get me wrong, servers have a lot. Some places servers are amazing. I have no issue with that. If you're doing amazing, you're being genuine. You can see when someone's being genuine versus they're just doing it for tips. Don't do it for tips. Do it because you're there to work. Your job. Someone I remember someone on TikTok was like, "Oh, if you can't afford to tip, that you shouldn't go out." Okay, well, if you can't afford to get a better job, you shouldn't be there. Simple. Don't
yeah.
expect me to give you extra money. I don't care if I make $50 an hour. If I'm going out to eat, I'm spending the money that this is the thing I hate. Someone told me this once, and I flipped it on them, and they felt stupid. They're like, "Oh, well, if you can't afford to tip, you shouldn't go out." It's like, okay, so how much you think I should tip? 20, 15% is not bad, but 20% it should be the minimum. Okay, so if my meal comes out to $50, I got to give you 20% of that, right? I got to give you extra money because what's 20% of $50? That's $10, right? Yeah, $10. So you want me to give you is it $10? Yeah, you want me to give you that $10 extra because you do your job, right? But here's the problem. I'm giving you my bill came out to 50 even. Now you want $10 extra just for doing your job. You're getting paid, let's say you're getting paid, for example. Oh, first of all, I don't know how much you're getting paid. You could be getting paid $20 an hour, right? Let's say we both get paid $20 an hour. I get paid $20 an hour in my job. You get paid
Mhm.
$20 an hour as a server. Now I'm going out to eat because I want to go out somewhere special. I want to go out to eat sushi or whatever the hell it is I'm going to. I'm going out to eat. I spent $50. Now I got to give you $10 extra because you're doing your job. Well, guess what? That means if I give you a $10 tip, that means you're now making $30 an hour because I gave you $10 on top of that. If you get $10 from everybody, let's say everybody gives you $10, right? That's $30 you're making an hour. So now I'm giving you 30 an hour and I'm only making 20. So I'm giving you $10 for free for you doing your damn job. Your job. If I worked at a supermarket, if this is the case, why don't you tip the supermarket? Well, that's not the same thing. These people are bringing your food. Okay, why
Okay.
don't you tip your McDonald's person, your
All
Taco
right.
Bell, your this, your
Now
that?
watch this. I just typed it in as you was talking about it. It says as of March 8th, 2024, the average hourly pay for a waiter in Florida, which now that's telling me that it varies between states.
It
In,
does.
in Florida is $12.39 an hour, while ZipRecruiter is seeing salaries as high as 21.38 and as low as $4.49. The majority of waiters currently range between $8.61, which is in the 25th percentile, to $12.60, which is the 75 percentile in Florida. As they say that the average is between $12.39 and as high as $21.38. But ZipRecruiter, which is a website that actually get like stuff from companies that are hiring or whatever now. My guy, $4.49 to $8.61.
Andy, they're averaging. They're averaging.
I mean,
It's
no,
illegal.
sorry.
It's illegal to go beneath the minimum wage. So they
Sorry.
can't pay
Yeah, because it's, the minimum wage is $7 and something. So yeah,
Wait, Florida? No.
yes.
Hold on, because hourly minimum wage over here is $15.74. In Seattle, I heard it's 16. But hold on, what is
Okay.
the hourly?
That-
What is minimum wage in Florida? It's $12 per hour. So yeah, out here it's 15. It just depends. Every state has different thing. I think here in Hawaii has one of.
Yeah, but it
One of-
says as of today that the average, because you got to remember, servers don't get paid minimum wage; they get paid below.
Oh, they can't. They legally cannot.
I don't know, but
Oh.
they do
Can waiters get paid beneath minimum wage in Florida?
because they make up for that on the tips, and that's what I'm getting at.
I don't think. I think that was an old thing. I don't think they can anymore. Could be. I mean, they could. I could be wrong. Florida employers can pay tipped employees as little as $5.54 per hour plus tips if the minimum wage plus tips don't add up to the state minimum wage. Does
Talking
that add
to
up
you.
to that? State minimum
Exactly,
wage is
that's what I'm
$12 per
saying.
hour as of September 30, and employers can take a tip credit of up to $3.02 per hour. This means the minimum hourly cash wage for eligible tip employees will be $8.90. Okay, so that changes things. So because they get paid less because of tip money,
That's why I don't put so much of the blame, and that's why I was trying to get into. I kind of understand them because there's a simple fact that it don't fall back. What you laughing about?
you're gonna hate me once you finish. You're gonna hate
Okay,
me.
no,
I'll tell you how it is. Bro.
But
It's like you-
it doesn't. It's not really. I mean, it falls on the employee, but I think it falls more on the actual business structure of restaurants because you are forcing the customer to be the one to give them that extra money when they're not. Like it's not their job. It's not my job.
Here's the
They
first question right
they
there.
try by making
What
people
is
tip.
the tip?
By enforcing people to pay tips, and that's what I'm saying. It doesn't fall on the employee. That's the business. They want to make us, the consumers, pay for their lack of paying their their employees what they're supposed to pay. You see what I'm saying? That's where that's where they're wrong. Okay, you was in the kitchen.
They get
Wait.
paid $5.54 per hour, and they whatever they make a tip is supposed to make up to that. If they don't make that 12, then they start paying them. Right? How's that my issue?
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you there. It's not your issue, but it's the restaurant industry in as the general thing that need to change that fucking culture.
What
Because-
restaurant industry?
All of them.
There's no tipping in Taco Bell, McDonald's, and stuff.
But I'm just saying, no,
That's
I'm not
restaurant.
saying I'm not saying fast food restaurants. I'm talking about regular restaurants. The regular restaurants need to pay like McDonald's and all of them that they pay you a fixed hourly rate, and then be the extra whatever for services if the customer desires. Now
No,
that
that's
has
the
to be
case.
enforced.
If that's the case, I work in the Applebee's. I only make, $5.54 per hour and tips as long as it goes up to $12 an hour. If I know I'm going to be making that kind of money and I'm only going to be working different shifts, because most servers, don't get me wrong, if you're a server and you're doing phenomenal, I like tipping. I don't mind tipping because I think, you know what, you did amazing. I want you to get more money because first of all, I have the money and I want to. But guess what? I've been to places where they've done phenomenal. I'm still not going to tip if I don't feel like it.
Exactly. That's your feeling as a customer, and I agree with that. That's 100%. If you feel like tipping, is up to you. But the thing about it is that they make the workers feel like if they don't get tipped, they're not gonna get. Because, and I seen this. They go and in some restaurants, they will grab every single
They take the tips and put them together.
They put all the tips together, and then they want
On
to
the
spread
device.
them. They want to spread it around among all the employees. That shouldn't be the case, because if you are tipping Sabrina, okay, because she was an amazing conversational, and she she tended to you wonderfully, and you felt so good that you felt like tipping her $50, way above whatever the 20% or whatever it was. Okay, so you tip her $50. So now you're telling me that you got to grab them $50 and spread it among everybody that was there. That's not fair to her. That's not fair to her.
It's not.
Because that's the tip that she makes, and that's why I said the regular restaurant industry sucks ass, and they need to be regulated a lot better because you need to be able to pay your employees a salary, a fixed salary that they don't depend on tips.
Here's the difference.
Because you was a cook, right? Did you get paid on tips?
No, you get paid hourly.
Exactly. So if you as a chef in the back, in the kitchen, actually making the meals for these people that is coming and eating your food, you get paid fixed. Why the workers are delivering your food, cleaning tables, making sure that the tables are clear and giving you good service can get paid properly. Because if you incentivize your employees to do a good work and they don't have to depend on tips, I think you have a lot better attitudes from your servers that they have to be based on tips. Because there's some people that they get so fed up that their check is crap because, oh, I did not make the hours, and because they gave whatever tips I had, they gave it to everybody else. So I'm barely scratching.
Here's the thing. I forgot where I saw it on TikTok and online. There's this restaurant, and what they did was for their servers, they paid them a livable wage. They paid them good money, and so that they're like, we don't take tips. They let people know we do not take tips. And they even have a sign on the door. I forgot where it was. It was in Vegas. We do not take tips at all. If you want to, you can, but we refuse. We do not want you to give tips. And they say it. We pay all our employees a livable wage. They say that, and they let people remind it. And sometimes they have their workers at the service say, "Hey, we do not expect tips. We get paid blah blah blah. If you want to, you can, but we do not expect it, nor do we need it." They let people know that because they want people to know, no, we pay them. And here's the thing. I understand the biggest issue and they did a test with different companies, like there was one out here, Dick's Burgers. They pay, I think the small for a burger flipper is $19 an hour. Starting. It's ridiculous. Plus they get benefits, right? Here's the issue. I understand, people need to make a living. But if you're working at Applebee's and you're not making good money and you can only work in shifts, but total you're making 12 an hour, but you can work at McDonald's for 15. Why not just switch over to McDonald's? It's because people have pride. Back in the day, don't get me wrong, McDonald's is not a career you want to have, but some people look at it on the different end of, there's a lot of, minorities like Mexicans and Guatemala, South Americans, that they work there and they'll work there for years and they end up becoming a manager and now they're making good money. So back in the day, it was more of a stigma for people to work at a fast food place like McDonald's or Burger King. Like, oh, that's not a job you want. You want to actually have a career, and people used to get made fun of that. Especially if you were an adult working there. It was meant for like a kid's summer job or just for a little bit to make money until you finally get your career. Yeah. Now you can go to places like this and you're making good money. But here's the thing, you got to be there for a while. No matter what job you go to, if you want to make money,
I get that 100%. But now, if that was the case, but okay, and I get it. Like that's 100%. Like I said, I haven't disagreed with you when it comes down to the tipping culture, which is a horrible thing. But the thing about it that they have make it this unspoken. It's just like an unspoken law that they made into these restaurant buildings in the regular restaurant. I'm talking about fast food, because they do get paid hourly. Because I don't remember the last time I tipped a McDonald's worker for bringing me the food from right there to the counter. But like, why would you make jobs so unbearable to the fact that you have these people working, like literally embarrassing themselves to a degree to be all this extra, I don't know, condescending or whatever you want to call it to customers that comes to spend their money. So you end up with most bulk of the money from every single sale and every single plate of food that you got to pay your workers shit. And then basically say, well, if you want to make a living wage or barely living wage, then you gotta beg them to give you money, which is wrong. And now
I agree, it is wrong.
Right, and then taking on you when it says that why they don't move. The fast food restaurant works under the same thing, where they flip it. Because yes, I'm gonna pay you a permanent or a structure pay rate, you know, 15, $19 an hour, but you only working 2 hours a day.
I
If you
don't.
work, you see, if you work 2 hours a day, you on the same level as the regular restaurant because by you working 2 hours a day and you gotta beg them to give you hours, what more money you gonna get working 2 hours a day, 5 days a week? That a regular person like me and you that work a regular job out there in an office or as a bus driver or as an office worker or whatever, that you work 40 hours a week compared to somebody that working 6 hours less every single day that had to scrape by to get even less because that's how they get you with the oh you don't get no lunch because you only working 2 hours. So they already stiffen you out of your own lunch because you sitting down there working for, let's put it this way, 4 hours. So you only get 30-minute lunch or hour lunch or whatever if you only work 8 hours a day. But yet nobody or barely anyone works a full 8 hours for 5 days straight. There's something wrong with the system itself.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is the part that gets me is that I've seen a lot of people on TikTok, social media, like, oh, well, like I said before, if you can't afford it, don't go out. But here's the thing: I'm paying you more than I make in an hour. So if I'm treating myself up to go out to eat, and I decide I'm going to spend, you know what, I saved up, past few weeks, I'm going out for $100 meal. I go out, I have that money. Now you're telling me I got to save up extra so that my server, if I decide to go back to that place, then I'm like, oh, that's the like. If I want to go there twice in a week, I say I'm going to go again. Oh man, this was so good. I love this meal. You don't tip them. I want to go back. Oh, that's the dude who didn't tip me. Most likely they're going to remember you.
Mhm.
Most likely, not often, but most likely they're going to remember. Oh, he's the one who didn't tip. Then they're going to start treating you wrong because of that. Here's the issue: I make money. I have no issue. I have money. But why am I giving you? If we're making the same, first of all, this is the problem. People are like, well, you don't know how much they get paid an hour, so it's good to help tip them. Okay, what if they're making more? What if I work $20 an hour and they're making $25 an hour? Why am I going to tip them and make them more money? This is the way I see it. I understand tipping can be nice. It's a good thing. If you have the money, fine. But no one should be made feel guilty. Oh, if I know it's going to be a big deal or they're going to think me cheap. Here's the way I see it. And this is just me, y'all. I'm a very blunt person. As I'm going out to eat. If I decide I want to do it, I'll pay you. If you want to work for a company that's not going to pay you a livable wage, go do your due diligence. Stop going out to party because a lot, and I'm not saying all, but when it comes to the fast food industry, a lot of servers, they do a lot of partying. That's something I know as a cook. I know it. A lot of them don't have like a structured thing where they work, school, work, and that's it. And they work for so many people want that instant gratification and that whole, oh, I'm working, I'm gonna go out partying, do this. Stop it for 2 years, get your degree, make your money. Don't be miserable and then expect people to pay you. Bro, I'm a business owner. I'm paying you, let's say I pay you a fair wage. And I'm saying you can get tips also. And then you bitch at somebody for not giving you a tip. I'm paying you a livable wage. It's not it's don't expect. Americans are very like, oh, I expect to have this. Oh, how dare you not tip me? Bitch, you're getting paid $15 an hour to do your job. Your job is to go to the kitchen, grab 2 plates, bring it to my table, and leave it there. Can I help you with anything else? Oh, can I get this drink? Here you go. Can I get a sauce? Here you go. It does not take a lot of time. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy being a server when you have 10 tables. I understand that. But as a cook, hearing people, and we've told people in my kitchen, when I worked at all these different kitchens, stop bitching about a tip. This is your job. You're getting paid an hourly rate just like us. Only difference is we don't get tips. So from a cook's perspective, I
I
feel
think
that
it's a
you
lot
are
more than
going
that, bro. I think it's a lot more than that, and you probably like I
what,
said, you probably
bro, one of my good
like
friends
again.
is a server, and he gets tips, but he doesn't. If he doesn't get a tip, he does not bitch at all because he
Okay,
knows
no,
he
no,
gets
no, no,
paid
no, 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 no,
fucking
no.
money.
I listen. I hate tipping culture. I hate the tipping culture. I'm there with you. Saying I'm there with you. Where my problem with the restaurant business comes from is the way that they are making their employees sit down and bitch. Because, okay, you as the cook, you get paid full blown hours
Yep.
because you are busting your ass in that kitchen cooking meals for 8, 10, 12, 14 hours.
But wait,
That
how did I do that?
okay, Get out. Get. I understand they said if you don't like
You
it, you
see
can
where
go
I'm
somewhere
going?
else. But cooks wouldn't be cooks if they don't have service to give their food away.
Hmm.
Because it will be a lot worse for you to be a cook and every single meal that you gotta make, you gotta take outside your damn self.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna appreciate that server that is actually being a help to you as the cook and a help to the business owner who is running the business that employ you as a cook, I think it should be only fair that the employee that is the middleman between you and the customer gets paid full hours as well. Because it's not fair for the
100% agree.
it's
I
not
agree.
fair because I think the tipping culture would completely end because and it will completely end if the restaurant business will tell me that for this day, let's say you open for 16 hours a day. That's two full shifts. You have a full shift for X amount of people to work 8 hours a day, and you have another one for 8 hours a day at nighttime. Given not all restaurants work 16 hours a week because they don't open from 9 to 5 and they don't they don't do 16-hour shift. They don't open for 16 hours. But then change the culture because if you want to have people that don't work full shifts and you making them work 4 hours at a time, they're not gonna get the same pay that you, the chef, that has to be there to prep, right? You gotta do prepping, so they
Mhm.
pay you for prepping, they
Yeah.
pay you for cooking, and you stay there for cleaning after that. So
Yeah.
therefore, you stay more than 8 hours. The server, how many servers do you go through in a on one cooking day between the let's say from the morning time to closing time? You probably go through like 3 or 4 shifts of different servers that work during that period of time.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah,
Okay,
because
so you
when you're
have
so
4 sets of employees that come over and are only working 3, 4 hours a day for that specific job that need to go to another job and work the same amount of hours and another job to work the same amount of hours just so they can scrape by in life. Of
that's
course,
true. So
they
I can see what
forcing
you're
the
so basically
employee.
because they
Yeah,
work like in different
they
shifts.
are. Yeah, it's not that the employee want to ask for the money, but they are forcing the employee to ask for the money like they was a cheap hoe or
So
that you gotta work for that bill, so you gotta demand on them because this is where I'm getting at, and I've seen it a few times, and there's some horrible managers that the manager said you only getting that because you suck as a server because you should do better and you should make them pay you the tip. My guy, how you gonna tell the server that they supposed to be requesting tips? Your job as an employee is to pay a fair wage and give enough hours to your employee so they can live.
okay, remember that. I agree 100%. Uh-huh. Here's a question. So people tip servers, waitresses, waiters get mad when people don't tip because it's like, hey, I barely get paid here. If you're going out to eat, you should be able to tip. Here's a question. Here's a fact. So you're saying, it's not the same because cooks obviously they work these long hours and obviously they're getting paid a set wage because they're working so much. Versus these people, they're not working as much, so they're not getting paid as much. So here's my thing for you. If you're working at a job that you have to be a server, you're not getting paid much, you don't like it, and you have to require on tips, it's really
Mhm,
quite simple.
mhm,
You have, and I'm saying this wholeheartedly, yes, it's not easy. I understand it's not easy sometimes being a waitress or a waiter. I understand that. But you have no right to bitch when you didn't go to school to be a waiter or a waitress. Cooks go to school, and if the people who haven't gone to school and they just gotten a job, say, "Hey, I'm willing to learn, teach me what you know, and I'll do it," and I'm gonna bust my ass learning how to fucking cook. I'm busting my ass to learn to get to that level. You need to have the the common sense of it. I want to better myself and do it. Well, this is just a part-time job until I can get my career going. Okay, find something better. You can work at a Target, at a Walmart, all these different places where they pay an hourly wage. I don't like that kind of stuff. I like this, like that. Waiters have all these. No, I don't want to do this, but I want to do that. I want to do this, bro. Do something better then. Be
okay.
better. If you don't like it, that's on you.
Mm.
No customer should ever have to feel like that. Now, if you can't get another job, now here's the thing: if you can't get another job, and that's the only way you can get for the time, I understand. It's not easy to get a job. I feel you, but the entitlement, the audacity to
Yeah,
think.
I
well,
get
they don't
it.
pay me a living
Yeah, yeah,
wage.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That,
No,
as a
I see
capitalist, is not my freaking problem.
the bitching and the
If it's
entitlement. I understand it one hundred
different,
percent.
go to hell.
But exactly, and I get it. You see what I'm saying? You shouldn't be entitled or feel like you're entitled, but that's what I'm saying. The employer is forcing this type of feelings on them.
To
It's
get a
not
better job.
okay, but like I said, if they let's say that every single server would think like you right now.
People are afraid to have balls. That's what it is. Drop
Eh,
the
eh,
ball. Drop
Not
the
not
ball.
not not so much because this is just a collective thing, and it's not just on restaurant, but in life in general. Because there's a lot of laws just taking it to the broader vision spectacle, whatever. If we all as a nation will have the balls to stand up to the people that make laws and shut down this freaking country, we would have things like, oh, we're gonna shut down TikTok and many other laws that people don't like. A lot of the shit would have been shut down because it's not the will of the people, it's the will of the few.
Yeah.
Okay. So since we as a collective unit cannot even stand up to that degree, what makes you think that a simple employee can just sit down and say, I'm gonna go get another job, which might take them months, give or take, to find another job? Some of these have kids, have responsibility, got rent. Ain't nobody gonna give a flying F about them not being able to pay rent, their phones, their lights, send the kids to school, whatever. So with that said, that's
What
why
level
I
do you?
that's why I'm saying that it's not on the employee, it's on the employer because it's a domino effect.
What led them there? What led them to have to get a job in service where if they have a family or whatever that they have
My
to do?
guy, it could
Cut
be.
your fucking
I mean,
leg.
life is unexpected, bro. It
It
can
is.
take you.
It is.
It can take you from somewhere that you were high and you was riding good and you had everything figured out, and then life just hit you right in the face and knock you down all the way. That's why, and that's one of the things that employers like to use a lot. Shit rolls downhill. So if everything goes bad, shit rolls downhill, and then you the one at the bottom, so you want to get fucked up. But then it never goes the opposite, where good things scale whatever. It's all the benefits go to the top, and all the shit goes down to the bottom.
Here's a problem. People in America, and I did this years and years and years and years ago. I got sick of this employer one time when I used to live in Massachusetts, Boston, for y'all who don't know what Massachusetts is. We got paid a fair wage, no issue. I love the job. I love the thing. My cooks are awesome. All my cooks were amazing. I love the job. Here's the thing. There we had waiters and waitresses complaining about this, and that, and all this other stuff. But here's the issue. If you want to make most people, I don't know what percentage, for me personally, I want to say I would probably go with 90, if not 95% of people, right, do not know their workplace rights. If I've had, okay, so I was at a few different jobs. I was at one job and they literally, and this is here in Washington State in recent, they tried to write me up and say if I spoke about, they heard me talking about my wage, how much I get paid per hour.
That's illegal. That's illegal. First of all, that's illegal.
There's this lady, she was there for like 15 years. She's getting paid less than me. She's like, what? She got mad, blah, blah, blah. Well, so-and-so told me this. They try to write me up. I said, okay, cool. I'm like, you know what? I understand. Because this is the thing. Years ago, like 10, 12 years ago, I decided I'm sick of jobs treating me a certain way. So I'm going to learn my workplace rights to make sure that they cannot screw me over. Union or no union, I learned what I can. People are lazy, don't want to learn their shit. So what did I do? So, you know what? I understand. Yeah, you can't be right. We're going to have to write you up. That's part of the thing. You're not allowed to do it. Okay, where's the paper? Let me go ahead and do it. I let them write me up. I didn't say shit. I signed it. I said, can I get a copy? Okay, here you go. So I signed it. And then I went back out, waited a few days, chilled, relaxed. And then someone was like, oh, I heard you got in trouble for blah, blah. Because, I didn't see someone for a few days. So yeah, I got written up for this, for talking about this, blah, blah. And there was a manager nearby and they were kind of listening because, we were slow. So we didn't have to do anything. We were all just chilling, talking. This isn't like a pod kind of office, which is like 50 people, 100 people, 200 people. We're there. I'm like, yeah. They got mad because I told them I get paid, blah, 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 how much. And I said, I saw the person. You know me. I think 10 steps ahead. So I'm like, yeah. They said, I was talking about this, blah, blah, blah. So this is what happened. So they wrote me up. So I told them I make, $20 an hour. And this person been working for 15 years and they only make this much. So they don't get raises. But that's his issue. I'm like, it's not like I do. So that person, that manager, thought he was slick. Mind you, I learned all my workplace rights. So what did I do? I said what I made. I'm like, yeah, how much you guys get paid? Oh, I get paid this, blah, blah, blah. So then next thing you know, I got called into HR 20 minutes later with the manager. Yeah, he was talking about this. He said, well, we just talked about this a few days ago, so on and so forth. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, they were asking me, so I told them what happened. They haven't been here a few days. We were slow, so we're allowed to talk. Can't tell me I can't talk. Where there's literally nothing to do. We're at an office with computers. We have to wait for people to call in for the what the for the what the job was.
Mm-hmm.
We had to wait. If there's no one there, there's literally they let you talk because there's literally nothing you can do. So like, yeah, you're not supposed to. We wrote you up. We're gonna have to we give you a verbal warning. Now we're gonna have to write you out. It's gonna be cost towards you. That could possibly lead to termination. Excuse me, 1 second, y'all. 1 moment. They're saying, that's, we told you that before, blah, blah, blah. And this is actually, we told you the first time, but we actually heard you talk about it twice. Now, I knew about what twice was because it was like 2 days later, I was talking about somebody else what happened, and then I talked about it another 2 days later. We heard that, we were waiting to come in, but you had the 2 days off, so we had to wait. So we're going to have to give you this warning plus the third one. So it might have to be suspension. Okay, cool. Where's the paperwork? They're like, hugging me now. I'm like, oh, it's not a big deal. So I signed both paperworks. I was like, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be, and then after I signed the third one, I was like, okay, so I have all 3 copies here. I'm like, so you guys agree because I was doing this and I just want to make sure I'm good. Like, yeah. Okay. So I'm like, who do I talk to in terms of reaching out? I'm like, it's probably just gonna be my lawyer, but how can I get the information? Would it be you and HR who I give my lawyer's number to? They're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, my lawyer. Like, what do you need a lawyer for? I'm like, well, you're telling me I'm getting written up 3 times and a suspension for talking about how much I make for work. How much I get for, working and whatnot. I'm like, so I'm gonna have a lawyer and I'm gonna take you guys to court because I'm allowed to do it. What do you mean? I'm like, it's not illegal to do it. I had the legal government document up on my phone. Here you go. I showed it to them. I'm like, I'm allowed to talk about how much I make. Why? Because it's part of our right to go ahead and confirm that so that we can try to get a better pay. Like, I'm legally allowed to talk to everyone about how much you get paid. Anyone can do it. You cannot write me up. You wrote me up 3 times. You have me sign it. So I'm going to bring a lawyer. I'm going to take you guys to court. We're going to have some fun with this. Now, was I going to take them to court? I could, but I didn't care. But I wanted them to know, do not fuck with me. So I did that, and what happened? They were like, oh, no, but I'm like, so you want to write me up? Bro, they ripped that shit up so quick, took it off, blah, blah, blah. We're so sorry.
Nah. I would not. I would. You go through the trouble of getting all that settled down, bro. Hell no. I ain't letting you rip nothing.
No.
Not a way in hell, bro. You going to court, baby. I don't know.
I wasn't going to court, but here's the thing. Not only was it, here's the biggest issue is that when I try to get lawyers, first thing they said was, oh, the minute they found out the name of the company that I work for, because this is a big corporation, they were freaked the fuck out. Well, blah, blah, blah. No lawyer wanted to take it. And it's also during the pandemic when all of a sudden, a lot of jobs were doing illegal things to like employees. So no lawyer wanted to take it, so I couldn't find one. So unfortunately, I tried for 2-3 years and I could get not one person to take it because they were like, even though I had the proof, they didn't want to go through it. And so it's one of those things where, because it's such a big corporation, they got money. They got money.
Sucks, bro.
Yeah, so I was able to. But this is the thing. Here's the good thing about it. They couldn't fire me. They couldn't fire me for any reason because guess what? I had them on there.
Oh, yeah. And if they try to retaliate, that's another lawsuit right there because they retaliated. Yeah.
Dude, so anything I did, I could have done the dumbest shit and they couldn't say shit about it.
I'm not saying that you could do the dumbest shit, but I'm saying as long as you stay doing what you're paid, you get paid to do what you're doing and you perform.
Oh, yeah. And they had managers who I heard them talking about me. Oh, we don't like this. They would try to catch me on shit. And I'd always make sure I have proof. Why? Because I understand what they can and cannot do. The thing that pisses me off the most of these managers is like, well, I'm going to do this. It's like, bro, you do not own this company. So you're trying so hard to enforce something where they can fire you also at any minute. It's at will.
Exactly.
How are you going to try to nail me for the simplest of shit when, bro, you could do this and then they can fire us both tomorrow. And then guess what? Then what's the first thing you're going to say when they fire you? For no reason. I hate this company, blah, blah, blah. You're going to start hating on them, right?
Yeah.
So here's the simplicity of it. Learn your fucking workplace rights. Learn what you can and cannot do and use that to your advantage. Guess what? Because of that, I got a pay raise. Because I said, you know what? I want a raise, blah, blah, blah. I got it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Why? Because that's a big difference. Not everybody has a savvy
And
and the street smarts to actually go ahead and look at
that's on them.
yeah, and look at some stuff
I'm
like
paying
that.
you
I mean,
more an hour. You're making 12 an hour. I'm giving you $10 now. I make 16 an hour. Now I have to save up extra money to
no, not that you have to save, but that's what I'm getting. And even though we're circling back to the original topic, and I get what you try to say with the narrative, but but what I'm getting at is this. Now, if every single employee in the restaurant industry would think exactly like you thought about how to get at your company, do you think it would be any servers?
We wouldn't have the restaurant.
Exactly.
This is why restaurants get away with it, because like, okay, if you quit, I'll hire someone else who wants a job.
Exactly.
But people don't want to get together and be smart. This is why Europe is smarter when it comes to rstrants, because
that's what I'm telling you. But that's the thing for the country, bro. That's why I was telling you at the very beginning, I'll kind of explaining it. If we as a nation cannot even collectively get this senators, governors, mayors, and all these other power entities from this government to do what we want as people, because they're working for the people, for the people and the people, and and all this other stuff. If they don't do it and we don't stand up as a whole country and just shut them down, what makes you think that's going to happen on something so small like a restaurant industry?
And that's the issue.
It's only few people like me and you that will think about like that.
You can't say the servers are exempt from it, because this is the other thing.
No. I'm not saying they're exempt. It's not just like I said, it's not just the restaurant industry. There's a lot of stuff that goes around in the offices. You would just be you just gave an example of it. They wanted to force down your throat some policy that goes against the law. Policies are not to be followed by the T, because one thing is a policy and another one is the law. Your policies do not go over the law. The law is still the law. You know what I'm saying? You can have 1,000 freaking policies. If those policies go against the law, I'm not going to listen to the policy. You see what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? People just get confused, and people sometimes are not smart enough to understand the difference between policies and law. And that's what I'm saying. Not a lot of people are smart like me and you and few other ones out there that voice their frustrations and what they see and the knowledge to give it to somebody else so they can learn something. And that's probably, kind of sidetracking from that. That's probably one of the reasons why they want to shut down TikTok, because it was giving insight and knowledge to those regular average people that watch this app on the daily basis multiple times, giving them answers and giving them ways to get away from this slave type of mentality or culture that companies have over regular people, and they didn't want it, so they want to get rid of it.
Shou Chew, the CEO, forgive me if I'm butchering the name, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. Shou Chew, the CEO of TikTok, made a TikTok video a few days ago talking about what was happening with the whole TikTok ban. He was saying how they're trying to stop it because, and I already knew this because I think I use my brain. He's saying how if they shut it down, and I've been telling people this, and I had a few people I had a discussion with, and they're like, no, you're taking it too seriously and too far. I was like, bro, if they shut down TikTok, there's going to be a huge crisis when it comes to the economy, because there's going to be millions. There's 150 million people who use TikTok in the US alone. You know how bad that's going to shut down? It's going to make a ridiculous amount of people have no jobs. The economy is going to go back into a really bad slump. And then he ended up bringing it up on TikTok how 300,000+ people will lose jobs and have no way to support themselves, because not only and people are like, oh, well, that's just content creators. It's not really a job. Okay, first of all, content creator is now a job. Yeah. And first of all, making content is not easy. I'm a content creator. We are content creators. It's not easy. It's second of all, here's the thing. It's not just content creators. There are literally, I forgot the name of the company. It was a Chamoy company. They became huge.
Yeah, marketing, all that stuff is all the type of jobs.
The news channels who are saying, yeah, we agree TikTok shouldn't be there, are using TikTok saying that stuff.
Exactly.
They're making money from TikTok. So here's the thing. There's like the Chamoy company. They were just a mom and pop thing. They make Chamoy in their city, blah, blah. They got on TikTok, decided to say, hey, this is the deal. Now they blew up. Now they're huge in the Chamoy world. Because why? Because they make it so that diabetic people can go ahead and have the Chamoy. That's why it's such a huge popular one, because they use such either no sugar or some really good sugar that people with diabetes can now have that chamoy if they want it without a problem because of how healthy it is. And here's the thing: they became huge. A lot of mom and pop businesses are now able to, because they didn't have the people, they were able to advertise on TikTok and
Yeah, and they can do
marketing
they can
videos.
do it nationwide and worldwide.
Exactly.
They can ship to other parts of the country where if TikTok was not there, they would have been known. It would be literally local. Like they can only sell to this community, not even to the next city because they're not known in the next city. You see what I'm saying?
Or Keith Lee,
So
the black kid who's he's a food reviewer. Love him to
yeah.
death. He's awesome. Keith Lee, if you happen to somehow maybe see this, I'm the wandering food dude, aka Poetic. If you decide you want to come here and let me show you around Seattle, I got you. But anyway, Keith
But
Lee,
hey,
he's
listen, if they
he's
shut down TikTok, he will not have a platform to do this no more. So
yeah, that's the thing too. He has Instagram, but like this is the thing. Facebook and Instagram and all these
yeah, but
platforms,
let's
their
be honest.
algorithm
Let's
is
be
not
honest.
as good as
Exactly.
TikTok. It's not as good as
Exactly.
TikTok. It was weird.
Nobody goes to Instagram to have a Instagram shop or a Facebook shop, even though they have Facebook have where you can sell stuff. It's not the same. You
Well, this
get
is the thing.
more
If you go on
you get more
Instagram and I want to
scammers.
check out,
You get
I
more
want to watch
scammers there
random
than
videos.
anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, if I want to watch random videos, it's harder to watch on Instagram than it is on TikTok. TikTok, I can see things from all over the world versus Instagram, it's harder to do it. So the algorithm of TikTok is better. So this is the thing. Keith Lee, if he goes to a restaurant and he says, hey, this is the deal, and people watch it, guess what? That restaurant blows up and they get saved. Instagram would be harder. It is harder to do that. This is
Yeah.
why people don't realize information is power. My dad always taught me, learn as much as you can, be as smart as you can, know your rights because your rights make a difference. Guess what? If you don't know your rights and you work in the industry, I worked in the restaurant industry. I have a friend who's a waiter to this day. His nickname is Cookie. That's what he calls himself, and that's what people call him. He's this like 6'5", 350-pound black dude, right? Dude is the sweetest dude in the world. Love him to death, bro. I've seen people when I met him on the cruise ship. We worked on the cruise ship. He was a server, right? They pooled the tips on that. So he was a server, but he would make bank. This is what he had people would do, and this is what he does now. But like if people are like people love him so much because of his personality and stuff. He's like, no, I don't require tip. Don't worry about it. I get paid an hourly wage. It's not a big deal. If you want a tip, I appreciate it, but it's not that serious. He would tell people that, bro. People would tip him $100, $200, $300. He'd make $700 a night, bro. This dude made money, but that's because he genuinely liked his job and he did his best. If he didn't get a tip, he didn't care. Why?
Yeah.
Because people work for their money and he understood that. People here are afraid to be honest. You know what? You work for your money. I'm sorry. But everyone wants to be entitled to something. And that's why, oh, well, if you can't afford to do well, bitch, if you can't afford to get a better job,
But you
the
see,
job.
I think those are the people that really have no type of work ethic or work mentality.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
and I mean, you're gonna find people like that everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find people like that everywhere. It's like in my job. You know what I'm saying? Like I get other drivers that sit down and spend the whole day on the radio complaining about every goddamn thing. Hey, I got problems on my bus too, but guess what? I am responsible enough to handle what I need to handle properly without complaining and sitting down there and bitching about everything that's going around and da da da. And yeah, given that there's some things in my bus that sometimes it just irate me. My bus break down or the AC stop working and stuff like that. But hey, I still go and sit down and do my job. Ain't nobody knows about that until now. Now that I'm watching the video, but
Yeah.
but but that's besides the point. I go over there and do it and do my job. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't sit down like, oh my god, playing that little violin and try to make people feel pity about me. But something is for the people that sit down and actually do their earnest and do their job right, and they do what they have, whether because of circumstance or because of whatever life just handled them. There has to be a change in the restaurant industry where they get paid and they get treated properly, because it's not the same as a cook that get full 8, 12, 14 hours to a person that only works 2-3 hours. And just given that a lot of people like to say that they got jobs and they have posted jobs, because there's plenty of people that I see that got companies that posted jobs, and there's people that go with resumes to interviews back to back to all these different companies that are hiring, but then nobody's hiring.
Yep.
So how you
I
got
agree.
postings just to have them out there saying that you're hiring, but then you're not hiring, and then the people inside work are complaining and saying, okay, we're short staffed, and I hear that everywhere. Walmart short staffed, restaurants short staffed, McDonald's short staff, Taco Bell short staff. Everybody's short staff. You are putting jobs out there, but yet the company is not hiring anybody. So what's the
And then
double
they're not
play?
giving
What
everyone.
is
Then
the
they
double
have
play?
a certain amount of people working, but they only give people 10, 15 hours instead of saying, you know what? Instead of us hiring more people, let's just pay you more.
Exactly.
Or
So,
not, they don't
and
even
that's
pay
what
you
I'm
more.
getting
They
at.
just give you the hours.
Exactly, and that's what I'm getting at. It's like
But
you
this
want
is
to
the thing.
have this
I
load
understand
of
about
people
this.
overwork, and then the worst, where people say we don't pay overtime, so you only gonna get paid for those 3 or 4 hours. But then if you work 8, I am not paying you 4 hours of your work. I'm telling you this, I'm walking out. If you tell me directly that that I'm 30 minutes over my shift, say, "Oh, can you stay over?" I'm like, "Are you gonna compensate me? Are you gonna pay me overtime? Because anything after this amount that you got set up on contract is overtime. So if you're not gonna pay me overtime, don't expect me to stay."
Here's the thing, though. You're saying that, and this is where Americans are stupid. Here's the thing. I've actually been to a job where they're like, we're not paying overtime. And once again, this is another example. Like, well, yeah, we're not paying overtime. I'm like, then I can't work. Well, you're required to work, until the entire shift is done. So then you're paying me.
Yes.
No. And then guess what? I work
Crazy.
it, and then I'm like, you're gonna pay me for that. They try to shortchange me on my paycheck, and guess what? They're like, oh, we told you this. I'm like, okay, so I'll see you guys in court. What do you mean? Legally, if I work it, you have to pay me. There is no,
Exactly.
I'm not paying you. You have to. They freaked out. They paid me. They made it up. People don't open their mouths because they're afraid they might lose a job, but you won't. I actually helped a friend, you know him, Lil Seed 503, Lilse, Lil Seed 503. Look him up on social media. Awesome kid. He was going through something like that. I told him, no, you're wrong. Do this. He said, bro, I'm not trying to get fired. I'm like, trust me, bro. I'm like, you know me for this many years. Trust me, I'm not going to lead you wrong. He did it. Guess what? They didn't let him go. He could not get fired once, even when he was being a little lazy. Why? Because they knew that would be considered retaliation.
Yeah.
Why? And people are just afraid, oh, well, what if they try to fire me? He ended up being to the point, he was working at Safeway supermarket. He was working there, and then they were getting away with stuff for other people, and he would tell people stuff. He was the voice of that place. He's like, bro, my boy Poetic said this, this, and this. Trust me, they can't. They try to get the other people in trouble. They couldn't do it. Why? Because they started learning their rights. And that's the thing. Don't get me wrong. If I go out to a place and if I have the money, and if I see my servers being awesome, I'm actually having a good time. I'm eating my food. Besides them doing their job, they're being personable. We're talking. It's good. No matter how busy it is, I understand if they're super swamped and they're not coming to me at many times, but they're doing their best. I can see that. You can see when people are being genuine.
Yeah.
I will tip because I feel, you know what? You're busting your ass, even though it's busy and it's hard for you. I'm going to give you a good tip. And I will tip 15, 20%, maybe even 25. But that's the thing. It's my choice. The minute you try to be stupid and do something, it's a wrap. And if I go back to that place a second time and I see you purposely, and if I didn't say I didn't tip the first time, I didn't want to tip. I just didn't feel like it. Or I just have the money to do it. I don't tip, and then I go back there and you give me bad service. Trust and believe. Not only am I taking you to, I'm taking your company to court, and I'm making sure you get screwed. I will be petty. Why? Because your job is to do your job. You need to have a work ethic. If you're afraid to have a work ethic, oh well, you didn't give me a tip, so why should I work harder? That's not my job. My job is not to do this. Your job is to service me. Pause.
Yeah.
To service me. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Your job is to bring the food out. Go say, hey, I have this order for this and this. Okay, cool. I need this. You go pick up the food, bring it to the table. Can I help you in this? Okay, boom. Next, other tables. That's your job. So don't complain about doing your job. Have a work ethic and do it. My boy made 300-400 a night because he did his job regardless of tips. And because of that, he was making more money than everyone there. This dude was pulling 3,000 a week easy, being a server.
Yeah, for those, and honestly, for those who are watching this show, and y'all feel like y'all stuck in a situation, bro, open your mouth. Open your mouth.
Learn your workplace right. I guarantee you that will save you so
Open your mouth
much.
because is for those at work, and don't feel entitled about things, and you know that you're struggling, you're in a situation where you cannot get away from whatever for whatever reason, but you do not need to let these companies get the better off of you and just step you down, bro. You got power. The only thing about it is that a lot of people don't know. And if we can, this podcast right here can help you out, understand and learn something new. And that's why I would say it at the end: learn something, stay curious, do your best to learn something every day, learn something and apply it. It's not just learning it and sitting on it. Apply it to your life because if it's good for you, it's good for you.
And this is not me being cocky when I say this next thing. It's because I've gone through it growing up. But my mom and dad, I love mom, dad. Shout out to you guys for being so awesome. It's they taught me never. I remember went to a hospital. My great grandma, Abuelita, rest in peace. She died years ago in this hospital, and more than years ago. She died in the hospital. They didn't even know when she died. They didn't know she died. This was in a good town. They didn't know why. First of all, because we were Latino. Unfortunately, that's what it was. And my mom at the time, she could have taken them to court, but she didn't want to do that. She was so distraught and sad because this was the matriarch of the family.
Yeah.
80 something years old, late 80s, she died. And matriarch of the family, I mean, anyone who met her was like, wow, she's a freaking saint. Imagine Mother Teresa. That's how she was. She was a sweetheart. The 5'4", 5'3", abuelita from Puerto Rico, dancing slowly, loving, gave you all her love, cooked what she could, gave you advice. She was an angel, and it was one of those things when she died, they didn't even know she died. And when we found out, we're like, are you serious? They neglected. And my mom's like, whatever. But my mom's like, always learn your rights. Whether you don't have to be just Latino, but learn your rights, because when you know your rights, you cannot be taken over on stuff. You can learn how to fight back and do stuff. If you learn, okay, you know what? There's people who, unfortunately, they need to work a serving job because you know what? There's moms out there who go to work as a waitress who it's easier for them because they have kids and they can work a morning shift until they can put their kid in something. They have to do that. More power to you. I feel for you and I understand. It's when you feel entitled that it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
You do your best, you bust your ass. I know it's difficult. It's not easy. Shout out to your single moms, to your single fathers. It's not easy. And if you have to do that, more power to you. At least you're doing your job. But when you feel entitled that, oh, well, if you can't afford it, don't go with these kids nowadays. Well, if you can't afford it, why are you going out? Okay, well, guess what? It's my money. Why should I have to do it? No, learn your rights. You learn that, you apply it. I guarantee you will get so much out of life. I told my people, my dude, he's still struggling with money, but he knows his rights. So he will never get in trouble with the job again. They've tried to do so many things like, on his new job, they're good with him. But they're like, you can't, you can do this, you can't do that. He said, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. And you can't. And the minute you get that, you're covered. Because guess what? If they try to do something, retaliation. And guess what? If it's a big company, like, for example, Domino's, Applebee's, whatever, there's multiple around the nation, which means they have hundreds of people, thousands and thousands of people working. Guess what? You're making money now because you're suing that entire company. Will it take work? Yes, it will. Will it take time? Yes, it will. But eventually you will make that money and you're good. If you want something, you have to learn. You have to take time, do it. Go into this. Do you think it's fair for restaurants to pay tipped employees less than the minimum wage? I think we agree. No, we don't think it's something that's right. But should
servers be entitled to get a tip? No.
Yeah.
No. But it goes hand in hand because I think that if they put that in practice and workers stand up on their rights that to get whatever they deserve to get, to have a decent livable wage, my guy, there shouldn't be no tipping. And that's the thing about it. I think most restaurants in like Europe and Asia and stuff like that, where tipping is pretty much disrespectful, if anything, these people get paid and they work a whole day. You know what I'm saying? You don't see a waiter working for 2 hours and then she got to go home and think about working somewhere else. No, they work their full freaking day there and they get paid their money right. So they got to change the culture of having these restaurants workers just working 2 hours a day, and they have 5-6 sets of workers working every 2 hours. For what? Just you got to ready the service there. Make them work the full day. If you need more workers for your company, guess what? Open more restaurants. And if you treat,
go ahead.
Yeah, if they treat their employees right and they're going to make more money, guess what? Then you can open more restaurants with equal to more money. So come on, fix you restaurant owners and you restaurant entities, fix your damn selves up, because what y'all doing to your servers is shit.
You know what's weird is that they've actually done studies, scientific studies. For example, the Dick's Burgers that I told you over here in Seattle, it's just a burger joint. It's a cheap burger joint. Like you could buy a burger for like $3-4, a good burger, and fries for $3-4. It's a regular burger joint. They have a bunch of locations here in Washington. and they pay their workers. If I remember correctly, the last time I checked, I think they start off at 19 an hour for a burger flip, flipping burgers, making fries. That's it. But they pay their employees a fair wage, and they got full benefits. And if you're there for a certain amount of years, they help you with college. They pay them exactly what they deserve. And guess what? Because of that, they've had interviews, and because of that, they've actually had interviews with people like, why is it that you're able, how is it you're able to do that when the burgers are so cheap and stuff? It's because we pay our employees. And none of the employees hate it because what? They're getting paid well.
Exactly. Because you gotta
None of them
remember,
say that, and it makes it better. They work harder, which makes it better.
every employee that you got there got family. So if they see that you are happy at your work and you got burgers and everybody eats food, your family's gonna go there. Their friends, the friends of your family, gonna go there. Their friends, and so forth. And then you just create this network through your employees to make your business, because now it's not gonna be so much about, oh, they got cheap burgers. But yeah, that family of 6 just ordered 17 freaking burgers or something because everybody wanted more than one burger. So now you're making more money with them little cheap burgers.
Check this out. Dick's Drive-In in Seattle, Washington, pays its employees a minimum wage of $19 per hour and offers benefits like free healthcare, 3 weeks of paid vacation, and a 50% 401k match. The company also offers tuition or childcare reimbursement, dental insurance, discounted food, educational scholarships, and compensation for volunteer work. And guess what? They're thriving. You would think these huge companies like Walmart, Applebee's, all these different fast food or any fast food place, okay, well, if they're doing so well and they're making, and they get paid, they make bank, that company. They make bank. And if it's that you can literally see that because they're paying them a good wage and they're making sure that it's good for them, that they're going to make triple the money versus if they pay them shit, that you're going to be better. And you're going to be, not only that, but reputation is big. If you have a good reputation, people are like, oh man, this, for example, if you go to Applebee's, right?
Greed,
You go
bro.
to one Applebee's.
It's
What do you do when
greed.
you look for, if you're like, oh, let's go to Applebee's or let's go to McDonald's. Okay, which McDonald's? Most people, and I know for a fact that I've done this, it's like, oh, let's go to McDonald's. Oh, let's go to McDonald's down the street. No, I don't like that McDonald's. The one further down is better.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because certain places have a better relationship when it comes to how they do things.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you have, if you're gonna do, there's certain Applebee's, certain things that they have better food. You can tell that they actually cook their food properly. They're clean. They're blah blah blah. If you do the stuff right, you're gonna make more money. More locations make more than others because they do it right. How common sense? You can see the facts. So if you don't have that, it's like
it's greed, bro.
It's like they're so money hungry, but they're losing money. That's why so many companies are closing, because if they like, oh, well, we can't really afford it. You can afford it if you give it a little bit of time.
Exactly. It just greed. You saw what Wendy's was trying to do with their price thing, bro. Oh my god, bro! When I heard about that, so I started with the price change, like based on
their charging.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. Now watch this, Walmart.
Well, they ended up not doing it. They ended up not doing it and said they weren't going to actually do it
because TikTok, again, TikTok, bro.
There you go. It wakes
TikTok
people up.
Was waking people up, saying like, "What?" Because honestly, if TikTok was not there, do you saw any of that shit being posted on Facebook? No. Do you saw any of that shit being posted on Instagram? No. Do you saw any of that shit posted on Twitter, X, whatever you guys want to call it? No. The only platform.
When you did see it posted on those, it came
from TikTok. Exactly.
From TikTok.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. None of them posts came originally from none of those 3 websites. American based. Why? Mm-hmm. Because they're all in fucking cahoots.
And like Shochu said, the minute if they really decide to close TikTok down, it is literally, you cannot refute it. It will literally mess up the economy.
Oh yeah,
hundreds and thousands.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's why I said millions. Yeah, and I'm telling you, and that's why they so obscenely like focus on like sell it. I want you to sell it. It's not just like, oh, ban and you're done. Like, we don't care what you do with it. They want it so they can add it to the list of shit. So then you get basically you get banned if you say something that goes against their community standards, or whatever. Not, you cannot express yourself the way you can on TikTok. You cannot speak about a lot of other stuff and just be having that freedom of talking about whatever you feel like it. And, within reason. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy. Well, to get me to this point, you heard about that Walmart stuff? I hate self checkout.
I saw something
I
earlier about
hate self
something
checkout.
new
But what
Walmart
they're
is
trying
doing.
to do, what I'm trying to do is so stupid. Because honestly, if every single customer was like me, I'll be rejoicing at the fact that they try to do this because they trying to do this. If you want to self checkout, now you gotta be part of
Oh,
a
I
membership
saw that. Yeah.
to self checkout. So you gotta pay extra on a monthly basis to be able to check out.
It comes out to
My guy,
$98 a year.
my
$98 a
guy,
year to self
my
checkout.
guy. Hire more people so you can have all your goddamn cash registers open. Walmart. How about that?
Bro, $98 a year to self check to do your job. I gotta pay
Yeah,
you,
exactly. So you want me to
bro.
pay Walmart so I can do my own checking out? If that's not the epitome of calling people stupid to their face, I don't know what it is. You telling
Mhm.
me I have to pay you to conveniently be able to check my own stuff out? What kind of stupid you think I am?
Bro, it's crazy.
What kind of stupid you think I am that I'm gonna pay you extra money in order for me to do the job of a cash register person and check myself out? To then have security come and look at my goddamn receipt.
Hold on. Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Okay, my wifey hates going to places with me. Now, Costco has a place when you leave Costco, for y'all who don't know, and BJ's and stuff, especially Costco. I don't know about BJ's, but I'm pretty sure they do. Costco has a policy where when you leave, you have to show your receipt to someone in the front. Now, mind you, I don't like doing that, but it's one of those where if you decide not to, they can say, okay, because it's membership based, fine. We're gonna rebuke your membership. You're not gonna be able to have one. That's understandable. Now, I have friends who do the checkout thing, and they say they do it just to make sure that there's nothing in the cart that was missed, and for some other reasons. That's not bad. Whatever, it's membership based, so it's understandable. It's in the contract. Walmart, any Target, all these places, when there's someone there who tries to do it, and I'm with wifey, she freaking hates it. Why? Because I do
it.
it.
I don't do it.
No, this is why.
I don't.
I refuse to. Oh, well, you have to do it. I legally do not have to show you my receipt. I paid for it. Here, you know what I'll do? I'm like, here's my receipt. Have a good day. Bye. I do not show. It's none of your business. It's none of your business. I'm not stealing. I paid for my stuff.
My God, you know what is the worst part about it? You have the security right there by the door. Watch. Have the security right there by the door. He sees the people that is paying. Yeah, you want to have the balls to come and look at me and ask me for a receipt? Bro, ask my wife how many times I have gone to Walmart, I pay, and I just keep on walking. Please, I dare you. I double dare you to look me down and ask me for a goddamn receipt. You will find me in the you will find me in the internet. I'll be a viral video.
I don't do it, but I can semi like 2% understand if it's on self checkout. The only reason I say that is because
and that's why I hate self checkout, because that's their excuse to be asking stupid questions.
Well, this is the thing. I can see if it's not self checkout, because I've seen people who have they won't scan something and then they'll try to get away with it, and they might get away with it.
Guess what?
If you're walking, there's no issue.
My guy, I'm gonna tell you this. How in the hell you gonna do that when you have literally maybe especially on one of my Walmarts, one of the Walmarts that are by my neighbor, you have one that is watching the line of people that's coming in to pay. Okay, you have one inside that is checking out for people. You see what I'm saying? That is watching the people inside the self checkout place in case they need help. You know what I'm saying? Like something didn't scan, or they didn't know the code of the vegetables, or the fruits, or whatever. And then you have one on the other end that is watching people. Yet still, after 3 people in that self checkout, is you have the extra one with the security trying to ask you for a goddamn receipt.
Yeah. That's how when I like, even with family, if we're going out and I'm going through that, I don't show it to them. And the first thing she's like, all it takes is 2 seconds to let them see, and then you're good. I'm like, yeah, but I work hard for my money. I go there, I'm shopping. Now, for me personally, it feels like you're saying, oh, well, I don't trust that you got everything there. So
Yeah,
I
now
have
you
to
wanna
check your restrictions.
you wanna talk about just because some other people stole, now everybody gonna sit down and steal. That's your personal
Mhm.
problem. That's not my problem.
And
That is not my problem.
I am not trying to make this. Now let me say this to y'all. I'm not making this trying to make it further. But but it does happen more to minorities.
Bro, I'm not. I was not. I was not going to touch that, but I
It
was not going to touch
happens
that.
more to minorities.
I don't
I've
want to
seen,
bring it down
I've
into
seen
race.
a
I just want
million.
to bring it down into the simple fact that it's just stupid. Like if you have register from register 1 all the way to register 14, you don't have 14 people. And I get it. Sometimes it's like, oh, because at this time we're kind of slow. If you have 14 registers and you don't want to pay 14 employees to sit down at the register because you ain't get the influx of people at that time, but then you only have 2 register, and then because I seen it, 2 registers, and then that day somehow some way you have Walmart full packed full of people. You have 2 registers open, yet you don't close self checkout and use those 3 fucking employees or 4 employees there and move it into 4 more registers. So now you have 6 registers open.
Yep.
Shut down freaking self checkout, open another freaking 4 registers, and you have a lot more people that can come through, get their shit done, and leave.
Facts. Facts. It's ridiculous. You have three. I've seen even at Fred Meyer's, the supermarket that's over here, is 3 people on the self checkout watching everyone and helping them, just looking at people. People, bro, you could put those 3 people on 3 different things and just have them do it quickly because that's their job. Do it quickly, get people moving, get people moving. No, they're just standing around looking at people, trying to figure out, okay, how do you scan this? That's your job. Now, it's not the people's fault. It's not the people's fault. Mind y'all, we're not saying it's people's fault. It's Walmart or whoever, the place's fault. But if you're paying them, don't pay them to stand around. Pay them to do the damn job. You're paying them to do it instead of having them just sitting there like, okay, because bro, majority of the time, especially like I went today right before we started filming this, we went there. 3
They're
people
playing on their damn phone. Do you got people standing over
they're on
there
their phone, and
playing on
someone's
their phone?
waiting for someone, waiting because it's alcohol, so they're waiting for someone to come through. I had to wait like 5 minutes for someone. She's on her phone talking. Oh yeah. Get on the damn cash register. What are you on the phone for? Like, are you serious? No. Get the hell out of here with that. Bro, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's stupid. It's ignorant. Jobs are pushing their luck when it comes to stuff, and they know they can get away with stuff. And because America,
Oh
and
no,
wrong,
not away with me, bro. Like I'm
Americans
telling you this.
are very like
Yo,
lost.
even
to
if I go, it's either 2 things that happen with me, and I just be the oddity in the freaking world. But my guy, if I see a register open and I see the freaking self checkout, I go to the register and I stay in line for as long as I got to stay in that line until I get to that. Because I am not working for Walmart. I am not working for Publix. I am not working for Target. I'm not working for none of that. Oh, right there where it was, and I leave. I will leave.
I will do self checkout if I want
Nope.
certain stuff. If there's something there,
No, I'll go to another store that have a register open.
this is what I'll do. If like I've done it a few times. I'll go to self checkout. I'm doing it. Blah blah. I get what I got to get. The one place I go to, they always have someone there, and they're very good. They make sure they pay attention, and they're good. Not a big deal. But the minute I'm there for 5 minutes waiting, no one's there, I leave it all right there. I leave it and I go up to somewhere else.
I'm not gonna wait 5 minutes. I'm sorry. If I see no register open and I ask, can somebody open a register? I don't like self checkout. I don't work for Walmart. They're not paying me for me to pay them. You see what I'm saying? Like, you want me to do the job of an employee and then pay you for it? Then why you have registers there? It's not like one of those what was it? It was those Amazon stores that they try to do, like, you know what I'm saying, like whatever you pick, there's an automatic whatever and it just comes out of your cart. That's a different story. You know what I'm saying? If it's a store like that, I don't give a damn. I mean, I got my own things. I put them in the bag and I just walk out because I'm already paying for it. There's no, oh, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So that's different. But if I go to a regular store, Winn-Dixie, Publix, Walmart, Target, whatever, and you got no cash registers open, believe me, you're gonna pay somebody to put all that shit right back where it belongs. because I'm not
Yes.
doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at my face and remember my face, because if you see me in one of your stores and you don't have a cash register open, best believe you're about to pay somebody to put their products back where they're supposed to be
I think it's yeah, it's crazy. The U.S. I posted a video on my wandering food dude account, my food one. This little Chinese kid, and he has this like little miniature kitchen, and he's cooking foods, and it's the most adorable thing. Like he has these like little mini
at. Oh
plates.
yeah,
For
I just saw it.
and-
I just saw
yeah,
it earlier today. Yeah.
yeah, and he's cooking food and stuff, and he's just making a full meal. It's like, and I said it in the video. I'm like, so these kids in China are learning how to do stuff that is essential for when you're being an adult, learning how to cook and do this. I saw one of a 10-year-old. He has a chicken. His mom helps him to a point when it comes to certain, like when it's a live chicken.
Yeah,
she'll
like
take it,
butchering
she'll-
and stuff like that. Yeah.
stuff like that. She'll do it, but other than that, once the chicken's dead, the first thing she's doing, he's taking the chicken, he's cutting it himself, the head off, doing it. He's fully cooking. This kid can cook more than the average adult can.
Yeah.
Full, huge meals. And yet here people over here are worried about, well, you're not paying me something this or my gender this, my gender that, or please refer to me as all this stuff. We're so worried about the dumbest shit
Yo,
here.
and that's why I said
And yet no one here wants to learn.
that is first world country problems, which is mad funny though.
Bro,
That to worry
it's
about.
stupid.
Look, it's so much shit going down in this world. Not in this world, in this country alone. So much shit going down there with so many things that are needed. You got starving kids. You got a horrible educational system. You got piss poor job conditions and laws and all this other stuff. For people to sit down here and worry about some stupid stuff like I identify as a lizard flying in the sky and other stuff, something. It's just not funny. Like, yeah, you deserve respect as a person, and I respect you as a person. But when you try to cross the line and you try to impose your self identification or some other stuff into me and try to start a whole culture war about this, or being too woke because you wanna bring up that you try to take whatever this country came from, which is history. About the history of this country and where it started and all this other stuff, just so people understand that it's always a culture war about this, instead of worrying about people with guns coming into schools, instead of creating more security for school. And I'm all about, I own my own gun. I have my weapon, and I'm all down for weapons. But at the same time, you have to understand that you're not going to put more securities in the schools to kind of prevent or try to avoid these things from happening. You know what I'm saying? Like create systems.
I gotta disagree on that though. I don't think it's important to have security in schools. I don't think that's as important as worrying about
Not security like that, but like policing around. Like you have
No.
officers.
I'm saying I don't think it's as important to have security or worry about politics and stuff. I think we need to focus more on TikTok and people having trends. I'm sorry, I can't even say that seriously. We focus on the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
We could be focusing on paying teachers better, but no. Let's make a law saying we can't have TikTok because it wakes people up and lets people know. Bro, it's the dumbest shit.
Yeah, because the Chinese are stealing our data. Like, okay, what you trying to steal?
Here's
My
the
debt?
funny part. Here's the
What
thing.
they trying to steal? My debt? Please steal my
Bro.
debt.
It's bad. It's owned by Chinese communists, blah, blah, blah. They're going to get our information. Okay, so yes. Is it possible for them to get someone's phone, grab their things, and then if you...
My guy, didn't
What
Zuckerberg
are
got
they going
caught
to get
doing
from
that?
me? What are they going to get from me? Are they,
Bro.
what tacos I like?
No, yeah, bro. Didn't Zuckerberg did the same thing?
Bro, here's the thing.
Worse,
This is what people
worse.
realize. This is not like, what do you call it? Conspiracy. Bro, Zuckerberg, Facebook, Meta, Instagram, all these things, they do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
The only difference is their algorithm is not as good. Man, am I afraid that the Chinese could take my information and use it to do something to America? Yes, I'm afraid. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm afraid that they're going to find out what seasonings I like in my tacos or how my burrito is made. I'm afraid they're going to take that and they're going to tell me, eat these tacos. I'm afraid of that because, man, I don't want them to know my secret adobo. Bro, get the hell out of here with that BS, bro. They don't care about me. I'm not known to them. What? I make tacos. Oh,
Yeah.
what's his secret?
You see what I'm saying? Like if they want to have regulations into like government agencies having their government devices, have those type of things, that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? That's a different story. I'm saying, but like you're not gonna tell me a regular American citizen to now you cannot download that because we are worried about what's your search history.
But
I mean, I'll be talking to you about this right now, and I promise you, I turn on my phone and I type one letter in Google. Google already wants to talk about all the topics that we talk about in this podcast.
yeah, well, this is the thing. It's like that's why I'm not in agreement with you. They do have to be careful to a point because here's the facts. When you're Googling how to make tortas or wings, that can lead to a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah,
How you cook your wings. It's
exactly.
not.
Yeah, I
Bro,
understand.
you got to
Yeah.
keep that on locks, my dude. Don't
Yeah.
let us know. Don't let them know.
They cannot know. Yeah, they cannot know the secret to the tortas.
Or don't let them know that you want to know how turtles swim or how the plane. Like, bro, in a government building, it's different. Understandable, 100%. But a
Not for
regular human,
yeah, not yeah.
what do they care about?
I mean
What do they care?
that right there is from a communist country. To be honest with you, because now you're trying to regulate what I consume as a person. I can consume whatever I want.
Bro, Facebook does the same thing. Instagram does the same thing.
And hey, to make matters even more hilarious, most of the products that we have in this country says made
In
in
China.
China.
You don't want TikTok here because it's made in China. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure the majority of this shit in my place was made in China.
Yeah. Or IKEA.
True. Lotion probably came from some like badger in China or something. I don't know. You know, they say
And,
something.
that's why now they're trying to start like built in the USA, but it was made in China. It was built in the USA, but it was made in China.
with the USA ingredients, but it was made in China. It was
That
made in the
is-
sweatshop. It was made in the sweatshop.
But I
Yeah.
think we ran your ears a lot though, so I think we're gonna end up the stream on this one. We're gonna end up this podcast on the stream. We're gonna end
Oh,
up this
no,
podcast.
we're not necessarily done yet. We still have, we're at like three more topics. How to avoid letting the Chinese know how I'm gonna cook my vetted chicken pork and pork and how to avoid the bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have right now next to me a sea salt and vinegar kettle from the Kettle brand. First of all, Kettle brand, I love them. Oh my god, y'all want to sponsor me? Sponsor me. But I have the sea salt and vinegar one. I love sea salt and vinegar, so for me, I rate this a 10 out of 10. But maybe I'm gonna ask this. Maybe people below can tell us by the time we have the stuff. What's the best way to store the chips so that the Chinese don't find out my bank account number?
Oh,
They're gonna know my
man.
sodium intake.
Hey, probably that bag came from China.
Maybe.
The
Maybe. No,
material
but,
came from the print was done in the USA, but the material came from China.
Material came from China. So yeah, I'm pulling it. This is Mr. M2J. We're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for tuning in to Latinos Unfiltered podcast. We definitely hope you enjoyed our unfiltered, crazy conversation. Laughed a little, maybe learned a little bit of something.
Hopefully,
new.
learn for real.
Definitely. Learn your rights, learn your stuff. We hope you all had a great time with us.
Yeah, people. You know what I'm saying? If you still haven't liked us, like it, because you know you like it. You know you like it. Stop lying to yourself. You know you like what we
Definitely.
put out there. You know what I'm saying? Follow us on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, yay! You know, Spotify, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not the Latinos, but Latinos Unfiltered podcast. Latinos Unfiltered podcast. And just give us a like. You know, follow us, subscribe, put that little bell on there, and then do all
No.
things right there. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, you know what he said. Subscribe to us, hit the little bell, make sure you follow us, keep the notifications on. Right below what you guys think about this, everything we talked about. Learn your rights. If you haven't noted, if you're not sure where to get it, let me know. I'll go ahead and respond to it. Put a little link up, how you can learn your workplace rights. That's the biggest thing you can learn. As I always tell people, my biggest tip I can give you guys is I'm gonna give you 2 tips. One of them, this is the first tip I'm gonna give you guys. I don't believe in tipping, so this is gonna be a miracle to give you this tip. So here's the first tip I'm going to freely give you, even though I don't believe in tips. Tip number 1, don't tip. Don't tip. Unless they're doing an extraordinary job. Not tip. It ain't your job to spend your money on someone else because they can't do something better. Now, if they do phenomenal, do what you want, tip them, show them I appreciate you. Do it because you appreciate, not because it's commanded or demanded of you. the third tip, because technically I gave
Second.
it.
Oh,
Tip,
no,
and the snake. This is what I'm gonna say. So the third tip is: can you guys let us know in the comments what is the best way, in general? Because obviously we're doing a podcast and you guys are watching this. Let us know what's the best way to make sure that we are safe from making our chicken stuff, so that the Chinese can't grab our information. Our bank accounts are sacred. How can they? Oh man, bro, like I'm afraid to go shopping because what if I buy noodles and they understand my bank account? Oh my God, no. Y'all have a great day. Thank y'all for coming here. Y'all have a great time. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yeah, familia, remember, knowledge is power. So, hasta la próxima. See you on the next episode.